Namaste and welcome to class. And thank you so much for sitting with me, with you, and divine attention. And today's class, I want to open the space to research about fear, the types of fear, the way they impact us, and how to deal with fear. So I want to start by clarifying the approach, because often there are many types of fear. I am afraid of the dark, I am afraid of relationship, I am afraid of trusting, I am afraid of moving forward, I am afraid of this and that. So if we take that path, it will be an endless conversation, and the ego will love that, where to keep your energy engaged in trying to solve something that really has no consistency in facing it. The approach I want to have is about the fear itself. Fear is part of the 9 emotions. It's a natural feeling or emotion that have aided humanity to move forward in their evolution. If we don't have a certain kind of fear, we won't be able to preserve our species. So it has been a good ally. The problem is that we have the 9 emotions: wonder, love, joy, sadness, etc. And this fear have escalated in proportion way too big. Society and our way of our civilization want to maintain certain control over our consumptions of energy and products and so on, is very interested in producing stories that stimulate the fear of not being able to make you living. So it affects your first chakra, your survival. Fear of not creating your passion, of expanding the very core of your heart. So you cut off the heart. Fear of being more yourself, of speaking your truth, of loving the certain ways. So all the chakras are very much compromised in that retention force that say you cannot move, you should be scared, you should be. So again, it's so many fears that we can talk about it. But when we tune in with that energy, that subtleness, the very spirit of that emotion, the emotion of fear, we have only one solution, and is face it face to face, fear. Like if you imagine that you are scared of a dark room, the only way that you can dissipate that fear is by actually entering into the dark room, is to actually meet and see what is valid and what is not. And if it's nothing valid, you will find your own expectations. You will find your own imagination that they have been invested in fear rather than investing in something more creative and constructive. And if you find something that you're really scared, then a beautiful shift starts to happen, and you are face to face to the fact that you have the courage to meet it, that you do have the survival skills coming from the very depths of your human brain or reptilian brain that is conserving the species. So is that really is the only passage with fear. However, we need to see that there are very different ways of approaching fear beyond the concreteness, right? We have agreed all the fears of the concreteness. That usually is fear of being in your body, 100%, to feel the pleasure of living, the fear of exchanging energy with other, contacting, loving, exchanging information without that or what the other was going to say and how I am going to be seen and appreciated or depreciated. The fear of putting your whole 100% of your passion and emotions into something that is your convictions and in the way that you see yourself and in the way that you see the world. And then the mind. You're so scared of your mind because the mind is always telling you tragedies. If you cut yourself or something, oh, if I don't take care of that, oh, I will bleed out of death. Right? Especially if you have any sensations in the body that you don't know where they come from, you immediately create that hypochondria frame that says, what is going to happen to me? So that fear of living in the earth, in the mud, in the pain, in the joy, that is something that is in a way tangible. But there are other fears that the seeker must be aware, because it comes down in the progression of your energy. When you have enough energy to awake and change perception, it's always about detaching on something that you have adapted and the crossing to something that is new and fresh. It had that excitement that can be confused as fear. And let's take, for instance, the fear of the unknown. And in here is clearly that if you have that image that, oh, I am scared of something that I don't know, you are already having some kind of persona who have that I want to know. In a state of surrender, you don't really need to know. You are not even worried about that you should know. It doesn't have any charge. Not that, oh, let's see and find it out. Not even that thought exists. It's just a simple being that is fearlessness, that it doesn't matter what you come, because you feel secure enough in your detachment and in the courage that you're able to face anything. Humanity have proved over and over, and the capacity of adaptation is incredible to deal with things that they don't know. So the fear of the unknown is really a story of the ego, and that attach, of course, to the fear of depths. That is more in the soul bodies, where there's so much depth, so much dynamics and mysteries that your brain is not able to pinpoint or even understand. But what you need to understand, why you need to understand, right? So what is available for you to understand is what is relevant for you to understand. The rest, you should not worry about it. And the same note is that fear of depths, right? It's the fear of water, it's the fear of birth, it's the fear of going to the bottom of the sea and born again and dying there, of dissolution. So the attachment to the earth bodies and the attachment of the energy of the dynamics of the soul is very easy to attach and give a sense of life. But when we are in the consecration body and we are really tested about detachment from your own identity, from what you think or define yourself, you must be already prepared and facing the dissolution. And in that dissolution, you have no concepts and no definition of yourself. You have no interest in knowing anything. You absolutely are more curious of, oh, what is in this moment and what is in this other moment. So it's not burning in yourself that, oh, what is going to happen to me? And in relation to that is, once you relax about your own dissolution, it happens something interesting, and is that your doshas, who have been trained to respond in certain way, the vata dosha, it's the more scary, predominant in the fear, because it's more air, it's more ether in it. What it does is it just fly away. It's oh, I don't want to deal with it, right? It disembody. Or the pitta, who is the way to affront fear is by fighting, by making anger and imposition and control. While the kapha is just holding the fear, is swallow the fear and hold it in the body. So when you are training yourself in meditation to dissolve every day, to give up that sense of attachment, you're also training your doshas, you're teaching the 5 elements to be more agile, and that it doesn't need to fight because it knows that it's perishable, and at the same time is a great ally for you to survive, to be on the earth. So the fear is not an excuse for the ego to put you down. Neither any of the emotions, no anger, no love, no wonder, no suspense, not sadness, not hate, nothing of the emotions is really in your way. It just depends on the percentage that you animate, that you prefer to focus on it. And this is something that I repeat over and over. Give value to what you perceive, because what you perceive is being healed, is being changed, just by the power of your own perception. So it's ultimately in your hands the power of focusing in love, focusing in gratitude and joy and optimism and wonder and creativity and sympathy and forgiveness, or you direct your energy towards the palette of the emotions that are more somber. And that in somber, if you are doing that, then simply be at peace that what you're trying to do is, by focusing on that, fear increases, and that you need to engage with courage, that you're training yourself to be more encouraged, to encourage yourself to rise your contentment and to see, yeah, okay, I am having this sensation of fear, telling myself stories, just to exercise courage. So in whatever way, when we approach fear, it's about meeting eye to eye to that energy of the fear. And in whatever form it comes, know that you do have the power, that you cannot get rid of it because it's part of your energetic palette, but you do have a very strong healer. And the healing is perception awareness. Train yourself every day to be fearless by crossing your own invented limitations. That way, when it comes the real time for you to dissolve completely in your true nature and the one and the all it is, it will be absolutely effortless and with great joy. Thank you so much for sitting with me, and I'll see you in our next class. Namaste.